Well, this guy, if he thought his neighbors were looking at him funny while he was mowing the lawn before, wait till they see this bad apple report. Alright, this guy's a larcenist. Blotter for February 9th, former deputy charged with larceny. A former Rowan County deputy has been charged with larceny after police say he was caught stealing packs of cookies and a jar of mayonnaise from a Food Lion in Rockwell. Oh, lordy. I don't know if I should even be reading this. Police responded to Food Lion after employees reported that someone had stolen merchandise from the store. Rockwell Police Chief Cody Trexler said, "There, officers reviewed security camera footage which showed Kim Randall Behringer stealing 2 packs of cookies and a jar of mayonnaise while going through the self-checkout line." Oh, lordy. Behringer was charged with larceny. He was released from prison. Good grief. Prison? On a written promise to appear, according to jail records. A spokesperson for the Rowan County Sheriff's Office confirmed that Behringer was a former employee of the department. The spokesperson said that Behringer's employment was terminated in July of 2019. I wonder what he did. And Salisbury Police Department reports, vandalism occurred. Oh, that's just some other reports. I'm just wondering why he was terminated back in 2019. I'm going to go out on a limb. You know what happens when I go out on a limb? I'm guessing this guy was stealing office supplies. Allegedly. When was the last time you saw somebody get violent at a parade? I mean, well, I guess there's the town drunk or something, right? But really, I mean, what kind of a person would pick a fight with a school band member, a marching band as they're going by? What kind of a person would do that? Well, I'll tell you, a knucklehead cop. That's what kind of person.
Officer under investigation. The officer is seen pushing a student performing in a marching band during the Muses parade in a video that went viral over the weekend. Now the student's mother is demanding an apology. Lily Cummings is joining us live now. Lily, this has really blown up on social media.
Katie, it definitely has. The mom of that student tells me that she learned just yesterday of what happened. And so she reached out to the community to see if anyone had video of the interaction, and the community showed their support for her, and it's clear this has clearly struck a chord. Marching bands are the soul of the parade route. It's not unusual for folks to whip out their phones to record the music, but on Muses Thursday, they captured something else. This video shows the L.B. Landry Marching Band come to a stop near St. Charles and Canal Street. An NOPD officer backs up and bumps into 18-year-old section leader Brandon Mitchell.
Once he bumped into my son, that's when he turned around and shoved him. My son immediately reacted, but he didn't react physically, but he did say, "Hey, you know, what's your problem?" And he continues to tell my son, "You know what you did, you know what you did." And my son said, "I was only simply playing my music. What do you mean? I know what I did."
The student's mother, Tiffany Jones, says the officer tried to provoke her son. In the video, you can see Orleans Parish Sheriff's deputies and Mitchell's bandmates step in. The deputy touches the two students, creating space between the officer and them.
The deputy got in the middle and, you know, told them to keep going. But as my son was continuing to try to get some kind of response from the police officer, he turned his back to him as if he didn't just physically assault him and push him.
Jones says she wants an apology from the officer and NOPD.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot and my son reacted physically, or my son initiated the contact, then he would be charged as an adult because he's 18.
NOPD says its Public Integrity Bureau is investigating.
Yeah, that's assault.
The incident. The Orleans Independent Police Monitor says it's reviewed the video and the...
Hey. I think we're going to need to review the video, folks. Let's look at this a little closer. Alright.
NOPD says its Public Integrity Bureau is investigating the incident. The Orleans Independent Police Monitor says it's reviewed the video and the officer was removed from his assignment. In a statement to WWL Louisiana, the Monitor said, quote, upon review, the OIPM was immediately concerned by the behavior of the officer and promptly spoke with NOPD leadership. The OIPM understands the public's frustration and disappointment. Reaction on social media shows members of the community took the interaction to heart.
I feel like it's like a one band, one sound type of deal. The city has written for my son and myself, and I am just so grateful.
We are all for your son and for you, and we're very much all against dirty cops acting like that.
And Jones says she does plan to file a formal complaint with the PIB tomorrow. She also said she's looking into taking legal action. Reporting live, Lily Cummings, WWL Louisiana.
How about starting with, let's find out who that officer is so we can do a little bad apple report expose on the guy. He seems like an unhinged jerk. This is a very sad story. An all too common, very sad story. Y'all, police send black man to the hospital over a piece of damn fruit. A woman says her father was violently attacked by police after being accused of shoplifting. Who knew a banana could cause so much ruckus? According to a Florida woman, that piece of fruit nearly cost her father his life after police violently arrested him after he was accused of shoplifting from a grocery store. Last Tuesday, 55-year-old Joseph Lee and his daughter, Angelica, were at a laundromat near a Save-A-Lot in Lakeland, Florida. Angelica told NBC News she was washing her clothes when her father's legs and arms began to cramp up because of an infection. To soothe the pain, he needed potassium, so she said he walked next door to the Save-A-Lot to buy some bananas. Lee told his daughter he picked up 4 bananas and began to eat one on his way to the register. He said as he walked, he was being followed by a white woman employee who was accusing him of stealing the banana while he was eating. By the time he got to the register, the cashier rang up 3 bananas and Lee informed the woman he wanted to pay for the 4th banana. However, even after paying, he claims the employee followed him outside and continued yelling at him. Angelica says things escalated into an argument by the time he got back outside, and she heard the commotion from feet away. In defense of her father, Angelica told reporters she grabbed a bat from her car and told that employee to pick on someone her own size. Yeah. Then the employee called the police. Uh-oh. 8 cars responded with 6 officers, 2 sergeants, a police spokesman said. When they arrived, Angelica Lee said she was sitting in the driver's side of the car with the door open and her father was standing outside the vehicle as they waited for the laundry to dry. The police got out with their guns drawn, repeatedly saying, "Get on the effing car. Oh, get out of the effing car," Angelica Lee said. My dad said to me, "Don't get out of the car until they can fully see you because they're going to shoot." And after he said that, 9 or 10 of them jumped on him and they slammed him on the car. Okay. As a result of the incident, Angelica said her father sustained an acute kidney injury and is undergoing dialysis. She told reporters he had already had a pacemaker. She's been the main voice speaking on his behalf, considering he's been disoriented and unable to speak following the incident. Moving forward, she faces aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery on a law enforcement officer. Despite her claims she never hit anyone, she is also seeking the surveillance camera footage from the grocery store and body camera footage to plead her case. Police maintain that Lee ignored the commands of the officers, leading to his violent detainment. However, they also claim Angelica went inside the grocery store, knocking things off the shelves after threatening to beat up the employee. You know, when police claim things, I don't believe them. Lee is lucky to still have his life. This incident is far too reminiscent of when a black man in New Rochelle, New York, was apprehended by police after being accused of eating fruit from a supermarket without paying for it. He was fatally shot. Another black woman who was pregnant, who was also shot after being accused of shoplifting from a store in Ohio. Things could have been a lot worse. Well, it's pretty bad for this 55-year-old man. It's pretty bad. So, folks, I maintain that cops are very violent and they don't know how to control themselves. So whatever you do, avoid them if you can. Oh my goodness, you guys. They found out that there's a gang member in the police department.
Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, a now former Jacksonville police officer finds himself on the wrong side of the law. Earlier today, Sheriff T.K. Waters announced the arrest of Christopher Barr. He's accused of accessing information in restricted law enforcement databases and then sending that information to suspects in a JSO criminal investigation.
You mean our information is not safe with cops?
As News4JAX reporter Eric Gagne explains, there's a strong possibility the criminals are connected to gangs.
There are also cops.
JSO investigators tell News4JAX that on 2 occasions, while Christopher Barr was still a
Notice the gang sign right behind Christopher?
cop, he accessed 2 different law enforcement databases and sent information about witnesses in a JSO criminal case to multiple people who were suspects in that case.
You're on the inside with privy to that confidential information.
News4JAX crime and safety analyst Tom Hackney is a retired JSO Director of Investigations and Director of Personnel and Professional Standards within JSO. He says there's a reason why law enforcement databases are restricted to law enforcement officers only.
Oh, they're so trustworthy.
What kind of information can a police officer obtain when they go into these databases?
It's so much information that's in there. Anybody,
And that's why they are addicted to your information.
who's ever been a victim of a crime or witness in a crime,
Or maybe a neighbor with a barking dog that the cop doesn't like.
all the traffic stop information.
And don't forget the license plate reader so they can track their ex-girlfriends.
Anybody who's stopped and received a ticket, a field investigation report is written on them.
They can falsify information, figure out stuff, plan little criminal activities.
There's quite a bit of information in there accessible.
Information that should never get into the wrong hands.
Right, that's why we don't want to give cops our ID.
According to investigators, Barr may have supplied gang members with confidential information.
Like his partner, probably.
Does this become a safety issue for people who may be involved in this case as witnesses or even the officers?
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is when these cases like this occur, that not only it exposes potential undercover officers, but certainly victims and witnesses in cases whose information is protected by law, and they want that protected. They're exposed, and that could lead to bad consequences.
Okay, cops, now do you know why we don't want to give you our ID every time you just look at us and show a little interest in us?
Hackney says from an investigator's standpoint, when a police officer is suspected of supplying criminals with information, the first thing the investigator thinks about is whether that officer is on the criminal's payroll. So far, JSO has not confirmed if Barr was paid to commit his alleged crimes.
Well, if he was on the clock, he was being paid to commit these alleged crimes. Nice eyebrows, dude. Goofball.
Now, when we checked our own database on JSO officers who were previously arrested for the same crime, we found that there were 6 that date all the way back to 2011. The 2 most recent cases were in 2021. Reporting live from outside JSO headquarters, Eric Gagne, Channel 4.
Okay, so we know it, folks. They're addicted to your information for a reason. And it's a nefarious reason.